All right, it is Thursday, May 11th. We're here at Toronto Airport and we're heading to Dublin, Ireland to learn all about Project Striker. We're going to see some very, very interesting tech, and I'm hoping I can get some sleep on the plane so that I'm feeling nice and fresh. Our trip starts in Dublin, where in 2022, Riot opened a $20 million production studio as part of Project Striker, a new initiative to run esports broadcasts all over the world out of 3 high-tech super studios. A studio in Seattle is still under construction, and a third in the Asia-Pacific region hasn't been announced, so for now, Striker Dublin is the only studio of its kind in the world. Thanks so much to Cisco for sending me out to Dublin and then to London to see all of the tech, all of the hard work that goes into producing an event like MSI. I've loved being here, loved seeing all the fans. This is my first International League event in my own home country, no less. It's been an absolutely incredible experience.
Yeah, so the thing with League for me is that it's been such a big part of my life for like 10 plus years now, and I love it, but I don't really understand how a lot of it works. Like, it's always amazed me playing it, watching it, like how does it all come together? I don't understand the ins and outs of it. I thought there would be the broadcast room, and people would be like, yeah, it's just over there by the broadcast room, but you try to tell anyone here it's by the broadcast room and they'll be like, well, which one? Which floor? You know, like.
So I think the main thing is like the pace we've actually been able to design, build, and get this up and operational. I think it shocks everyone in the team when somebody says like, how long is Striker operational? You're like, it's been less than like kind of 12 months. We're in around the 12-month mark now. Although there's 3 events happening, we actually have 4 control rooms up. So MSI, as an example, has not only got a world feed, but it also has the Neo feed, which is our English feed. So it's taking 2 control rooms up. So 4 out of the 6 are actually operational now. It's a real milestone for us to finally see and be able to touch and kind of demonstrate that it's working, and it's working well.
So on 43 and take, fly up, lose perfect, stand by red, stand by to fly to red, in 3, 2, 1, fly to red. Go. Good job, team.
But an expensive production studio on its own wouldn't allow Riot to do everything they wanted with Project Striker. A big part of that magic is a new technology called JPEG XS.
So JPEG XS is a cutting-edge contribution technology. What that largely comes down to is the speed that it actually is able to transfer both our encodes and decodes. What that results in is almost 0 latency between sites. So MSI being in London and Dublin here, the latency is almost, you wouldn't notice it.
JPEG XS is the name of the technology, but what Striker has done differently here is they've combined that technology with massive investment from Cisco. So they have the data center in Dublin and their own network with Riot Direct.
So Riot Direct is our own global ISP internal to Riot, and it was introduced a number of years ago, largely to reduce latency for players in-game anywhere in the world. When you combine those 2 together alongside Cisco, it results in the talent on site being able to make gameplay calls without 0 latency, similar to the director being able to talk to the camera people on site and make those calls as well without you seeing any kind of delay on broadcast.
This is all great because the downside of sending a signal over IP is that if there's like a blip in the signal, then it's not great. The whole show could go down completely. Riot have invested so much time and money and people into building this infrastructure, this network, that they're now pretty confident they can rely on it. And so far in the short time they have been using it, there haven't been any issues. So,
we're here in Dublin.
Yeah.
You spent a few days at Striker. What are your takeaways? What are your final thoughts?
I can definitely see now how much this helps your job as a caster. Being able to rely on a system like this, on a network, on an infrastructure, being able to do your job from anywhere in the world, right? And not being restricted to certain places at certain times, just makes the whole casting experience 10 times better. And obviously,
that makes the viewer's experience better, right? I don't think I'll ever forget the things I learned, last few days being a project striker. I think whenever I watch a broadcast now, I'm going to be thinking about all the different things we talked about, even little things like seeing the observers cut together highlights on the fly mid-game. Like, that's fully embedded in my experience of esports now. Heading off to London next, and I'm really excited to see the Copper Box Arena, because we've seen so much of it the last few days. If we're not looking at Project Striker, we're sat there watching the games themselves, and every time it cuts to the stadium, it's like, it is incredible. It looks amazing. So yeah, excited to be there in person. All right, and we made it to London. We are here at the Copper Box Arena for MSI. It's exciting. I can feel the energy. The crowds are pouring in. But I'm most excited about seeing how Project Striker's technology and all the good stuff we've looked at so far is helping casters do their job right here. Let's get into it.
I'm very fortunate that from the LEC and from the European perspective, when we first started our studio, we actually started working remotely with the Santa Monica control room. So we used, undersea dark fiber cables, and our entire show was produced and managed and streamed from Santa Monica. That had a huge amount of challenges and technical problems, especially when it came to delay, when the amount of time it takes the data to go back and forth, when it came to synchronizing voices, synchronizing the game. Working here with Dublin and working just literally half a second, if that, between here and there, it's one of the smoothest experiences that we've ever had. On day one of our show, we had nearly zero tech problems. And as somebody that's done this for nearly 10 years, it was quite special, it was quite unique. For me specifically, as talented as somebody that's on camera, the fact that it was so smooth, it was so seamless, it was so easy, is the biggest success.
C'est quelque chose que j'ai appris pendant le tournoi, qu'avec une régie qui avait été déplacée à Dublin. Et tout a été hyper smooth, tout a été hyper vraiment facile, parce que je travaille avec mes producteurs qui sont généralement mes producteurs du LEC, qui eux sont à Dublin, en coordonnant des choses ici à Londres. Et je m'attendais à ce que justement peut-être la connexion se fasse pas hyper bien, que ce soit un petit peu compliqué. Honnêtement, il n'y a eu aucun problème. Je sais que de leur côté, pareil, ça a été une expérience intéressante. Mais en tout cas, en tant que host, en tant qu'intervieweuse, j'ai pas senti la transition, vraiment.
Thanks to Cisco's network, more than a petabyte of data was transferred to and from Worlds 2022. That's more than 1,000 terabytes, all with no packet loss. And the final piece of this puzzle is the production staff here on the ground, some of whom oversee the broadcast as it goes to Dublin and then out all over the world from a truck parked just outside the venue.
We operate on a model similar to the Olympics or the World Cup or any other major sporting event that uses a world feed that we produce wholly within Riot, and that world feed has everything you need to cover the sport, whether it's in-game content, behind-the-scenes B-roll, interviews, graphics, video packages, all that good stuff. In terms of the scale of our sets and our shows, we utilize technology that comes from all over the world. We don't just go somewhere and get some camera operators, go somewhere and get whatever. We find the people we really want to work with, and if that means investing in people all around the world, if that means investing in technology and tools around the world, so be it. The investment in Striker and all of our remote production capabilities are really great because it allows us to at least centralize some of that, and those efficiencies allow us to just deliver more and more over time. Let's go check out the production truck. We've got cameras in the coach's room. We've got all the face cams. We're operating with about 30 cameras on this show, all of which get sent back to Striker over Riot Direct using JPEG XS transmission. With centralized storytelling, we're able to put the best of the best observers on it to make sure that everyone gets the highest quality. We're able to put the best of the best graphics, invest in the newest stats, and that way our investments don't just go to the English feed or the China feed or whoever may have the biggest budget or the most infrastructure or maybe geographically close.
But all the technology in the world wouldn't matter without the team of broadcast professionals operating it all behind the scenes.
It's important to highlight, and I don't think it gets highlighted enough, the incredible work that these teams are doing to passionately create workflows and passionately create the tool set that we need to do those shiny player-facing things. Those people are real heroes that I think don't get enough credit because the technology is shiny and cool, and the product is shiny and cool, but the thing in the middle is really thankless, and those people, are doing some of the most incredible work.
Finally made it. I feel like I've learned a lot. It is kind of crazy just being here at the end of the whole trip. I hope that other people watching this will have an idea about the technology and the people and the whole operation that goes into it. Because that's the thing, I think when you talk about esports or league esports being global, sometimes you can kind of forget what that really means. It's easy to think, oh, that just means it's global because there's players all over the world or people watch all over the world. But it really is global in like the most interconnected way possible. It was so cool seeing these fans from opposite sides of the world. Yes, we have those rivalries, but at the end of the day, we're all playing the same game. And that really brings it all together.
Moi, j'ai découvert l'e-sport en 2014. Je regardais des matchs de LCS dans ma chambre et le premier événement que j'ai fait, qui était à Paris, c'est le moment où je me suis rendu compte que, en fait, je suis pas toute seule. On est beaucoup à apprécier l'e-sport. Et je suis vraiment contente que les fans puissent célébrer leur passion tous ensemble parce que c'est là qu'on se rend compte de la force, de ce que c'est et que ce n'est pas qu'un jeu vidéo. C'est pas qu'un jeu vidéo, c'est une compétition à part entière, c'est une passion à part entière pour énormément de monde. Et je pense que c'est des moments de réunion qui sont importants.
I took for granted how much interacting with fans, how much being in the same space as fans, not only meant to me, but what impact it had on the broadcast. Those connections and that like shared passion, it has literally brought me to tears several times. And it's just something that I sincerely hope continues to grow and continues to travel around the world because it's just something that I absolutely love doing.